Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, grabbing the Master Defender achievement. This is to unlock every single one of Goofy's shields. So just like with Donald's stabs, the majority of the shields can be found at Traverse Town in the item shop. So which one do you want to make sure you head over there? It's going to be the building to the left of the accessories shop. Make sure you head on inside. The store is going to be run by Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Make sure you talk to whoever's running the counter, and then make sure you go to shop. Here's going to be a list of all 7 shields you can buy, their prices, and when they appear in the story. Pretty much you want to check back at the store after your first Traverse Town visit, after you complete Agrabah, and after you complete the first visit to Hollow Bastion. Make sure you buy them, or you can save up and just buy them all at once. Doesn't really matter as long as you get one of each at some point in the game. And then make sure you stow those away in your inventory. And then make sure you also have the appropriate amount of cash in order to buy all of them, obviously. Once you take care of all the buyable shields, it's time to move on to the unlockable ones. First one you can unlock is going to be the Herc's shield. This one can be gotten by winning the Hercules Cup. Hercules Cup is going to unlock once you complete Neverland. Make sure you head back to the Coliseum and then make sure you start up the tournament. Make sure you run through every single match and then get to the end. This is going to be an optional story chapter. However, it is required not only for its respective achievement, but you are also going to need it to get one of Sora's Keyblades, as well as the Yellow Trinity ability, but for this particular achievement, we are going to want to focus on the Herc's Shield. The next unlockable shield is going to also be done in a tournament. It's going to be done in the Hades Cup. Hades Cup is going to be available to you once you have completed both trips to Hollow Bastion. Make sure you head back to the Coliseum and then start up the tournament. Your first time around, you do get checkpoints every 10 fights, so keep that in mind and do take advantage of that. However, for this particular achievement, you are going to unlock a shield by defeating Yuffie. Yuffie is going to be the 6th fight in, or the 44th seed, so make sure you take care of her. It's a pretty simple fight since it's only a one-on-one fight, and then having Eroga is going to really help out with this one. But nonetheless, for defeating her for the first time, you should get the Genji Shield. Now, the only one of Goofy's shields that you can find in the wild is going to be found at the end of the world. This is going to be in the World Terminus area. This area is basically going to play as a little clip show for all of the worlds you have completed, and completing each one of the sections should reward you a little prize in the form of a treasure chest. Keep in mind that they all are going to be optional with the exception of any worlds where you have not sealed the keyhole in. However, the one you do want to make sure you play is going to be the Neverland one. It should be the last regular colored one, so the last one before the glowing one. Make sure you play through the section and clear the Heartless, and then make sure you look in this big room right here after clearing it out. And then in the corner by the fireplace is going to be this chest, and then inside is going to be Goofy's Mighty Shield. Also, just like Donald, Goofy is going to have a Heartless weapon in the form of the Defender Shield. The Defender Shield is going to be dropped by defenders, obviously. Same strategy as before, make sure you have 3 times Lucky Strike on. Normally, a Defender is going to have a 0.2% chance drop rate to drop its shield. That's going to mean 1 in 500 defenders have a chance of dropping what you're looking for. However, if you have 3 times Lucky Strike, you can increase your chances to a 0.5% chance drop rate, which is going to be a 1 in 200 chance. So make sure you equip those 2, and the 2 best farm spots are going to be in Traverse Town, either in the hotel hallway, where you are going to get a wave of defenders, or you can do this in 3rd District, where there's going to be 3 waves, and then most of the waves should contain a ton of defenders. So pick either option. If you happen to have Encounter Plus left over from your item synthesis days, make sure you equip that so you can just go 1 screen over to refresh the Heartless. It's not totally necessary because, like normal, you can just go 2 screens over. However, it will speed things up, especially considering load times and all that stuff. Nonetheless, just keep finding defenders and make sure you keep killing them, and eventually one should drop a shield sooner rather than later. But of course, be a little patient with these farming things. And as always, I highly recommend working on this while farming other things, including the Wizard's Relic, which is Donald's Heartless weapon, if you don't have that already. Or if you are still working on item synthesizing, you can always look for ingredients during this time. The drop is going to be a baby blue colored chest. Make sure you grab it if you spot it. Personally, for me, it took 171 defenders to find it in the regular version and 251 in the Japanese stack. Now, the more involved of Goofy's unlockable weapons is going to be the Dream Shield. This one is going to require that you get all of the spell arts from White Mushrooms. White mushrooms are going to be an alternate encounter to whatever heartless are going to be in a particular area of a particular world. For this first example, your first encounter is more likely than not going to be in Wonderland. So, going into the Lotus Forest, you're going to have a chance of spotting them. They're going to look a little something like this. The way they work is once you engage them, they're basically going to engage you in a little game of charades. What you're supposed to do is you are supposed to look at the commands, and then depending on what command that you are trying to go for, you want to make sure you cast the appropriate spell. For this first example, we are going to look at the fire command. The white mushroom should start shivering, and that is going to be your cue to cast fire on it. And you need to make sure you do that for 3 times on the same mushroom. If you happen to match 3 commands, you should be awarded with the appropriate spell art. So for that one, we got the fire arts. Now, every single white mushroom encounter should give you a few mushrooms to work with. So if you do mess up, or if you want to work on multiple things, you of course can go to the next mushroom and then get your next slew of spells. So for this second one, we are going to knock out Blizzard. The Blizzard charade is going to be the mushroom fanning itself, so make sure you match the appropriate spell with the appropriate charade 3 times on the same mushroom to get the Blizzard arts. Then moving on over here, the last one we can get in this area is going to be Thunder. Thunder is going to have a little spotlight over the mushroom, so again, just match the charade with the appropriate spell, and we should be good for the Thunder arts. In Wonderland, even though there's only 4 mushrooms, they only cycle through 3 different charades, so keep that in mind. You are going to have to go to different areas in order to knock out every single spell you need, and you do need 1 of each spell arts in order to complete this challenge. So, white mushrooms are going to, for the most part, appear in every single world, and every time they do appear, they are going to all have the first 3 basic spells: Fire, Blizzard, and Thunder, as well as 1 additional spell unique to that world. So for our next spell art, we are going to head over to Deep Jungle. You want to make sure you head into the campsite area. Leave the tent, and you should have the chance of a random encounter with some white mushrooms. The Cure Charade is going to be when the mushroom lies down on its front, and to use it, basically you want to cast Cure, and then you want to make sure you select Target. That should heal the mushroom instead of a party member, and that's basically going to take care of the Charade. Just match it 3 times, and we should be good for the Cure arts, just like the other 3 spells. As you can see, Fire, Blizzard, and Thunder are going to be cycled through here as well, so I recommend just focusing on the spell that you are going for and the one that's unique to this area. The white mushrooms do come with a time limit, so make sure you keep that in mind. Make sure you focus on what you came for, and then if you do need backups of anything, just make sure you use the other mushrooms in the encounter to get them if you have time. On to the next spell art, which is going to be the Gravity Arts. This one can be found in Agrabah inside the Cave of Wonders. Make sure you hop over to Dark Chamber and then take the stairs up. You want to make sure you look in the treasure room. So once you get back to ground level, make sure you hang a right and then just punch it straight to the treasure room. Again, these are random encounters, so you may have to leave and come back a few times and get a little lucky with the encounter rate. There's nothing that you can really do to speed it up, so keep that in mind. So once we get into the treasure room, if we're lucky enough to get our group of white mushrooms, we're going to do the gravity encounter. The charade for this one is going to be when the mushroom starts floating up in the air. So make sure you cast gravity to pull it down, and of course just match it 3 times, and we should be good for the gravity arts. Now, if you happen to reach this point in the game and you still don't have gravity, you of course are free to come back when you do unlock it later on. So if you skipped the fill cup, for example, you can come back on a later visit and then try to farm white mushrooms that way. On to the next location, which is going to be Atlantica. Keep in mind there's going to be 2 white mushroom locations in this one. However, the ones that are going to be part of the Pink Agaricus fight are not going to be able to drop spell arts. So with that in mind, we are going to head to the best location, which is going to be the below deck area of the sunken ship. The white mushrooms here are able to drop spell arts, so make sure you head in from either side, either Triton's throne room, or you can head in from the cavern nook. So make sure you look for them. The unique art you want to look for here is going to be the stop art. So the charade for this one is if the mushroom freezes. So basically they're going to do a little hokey pokey where they stick their foot out and then just hold still. Make sure you cast stop appropriately 3 times, and you should be good for the spell art. There's going to be 2 mushrooms usually in this kind of below deck area, and there's going to be 1 underneath the ship. So make sure you clear the barrels and the crates out of the way if you do need that backup one. Then finally, the last one we're going to go for is going to be in Halloween Town. It's going to be in the graveyard area. So make sure you stop by Guillotine Gate, which is going to be the only save point that you can use after sealing the keyhole. So make sure you just head forward and then hang a right and then go into the first area. Hopefully you should have better luck of spawning it. So make sure you jump up the steps and then your white mushrooms should appear around all of the different gravestones. The one you want is going to be Arrow. Arrow is going to work just like Cure, where you need to lock on and then you want to cast it on target. You have to be standing close enough to the mushroom. The charade for this one is going to be when the mushroom starts spinning. So just match it up another 3 times and we should be good for the last arts, which is going to be the arrow arts. White mushrooms can also be found in Traverse Town. They are going to have the basic 3 spells, Fire, Blizzard, and Thunder available, and they can also appear at the end of the world. However, those are going to be a little unuseful since they have every single spell available to them, and it's really hard to go through an entire cycle and get 3 matching ones. So keep that in mind as we get the last art. Once you have all 7 arts, make sure you head back to Traverse Town, go over to the Magician's Study, and then make sure you talk to Merlin. He should give you the good job and your reward, and that's going to take the form of the Dream Shield. Just like Donald's, Goofy's penultimate weapon can be obtained through item synthesis. You are going to have to mix at least 30 things in order to unlock the ability to mix it. It's going to be 3 Blazing Stones, 3 Frost Stones, 3 Lightning Stones, 5 Dazzling Stones. Check out our synthesis guide if you need more info on that, but that one is going to be the 7 elements. Then finally, to get Goofy's ultimate weapon, you are going to need to be able to complete the Hades Cup in timed mode. So that's obviously going to require that you have cleared the Hades Cup at least once normally, and then once by yourself, which is how you unlocked Donald's ultimate weapon. So once you manage to get timed mode unlocked, make sure you clear this. It's going to give you 20 minutes to run through this. You should be pretty strong at this point, especially since you were able to beat it on your own to get Donald's ultimate weapon. Nonetheless, you are able to use your team here. Once you manage to beat the clock, you should be good for Save the King, and then that should be the last shield. Once you head back to the lobby, you should be good for your achievement, 15 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.